Welcome back, everyone. I'm smiling today because we're talking about happiness, happiness. I'm so happy, clap along if you feel like a room with... I don't know the lyrics. My wife laughs at me constantly because I don't know lyrics to any songs, but I continue to sing. Double your happiness. I cannot wait to talk to you about this idea, this concept that I hope will seriously change you forever and ever and ever, because it's helping change me each and every day. Who wants to increase their happiness? Everybody, right? I consider myself a pretty happy guy, but if somebody told me they could increase my happiness, of course my hand would be raised and I am all in. This podcast episode about doubling your happiness starts with a story about a speech that I gave a year ago. A little over a year ago, I was raising money for a charity called Team Red, White, and Blue. And the charity helps veterans, military veterans, immerse themselves back into society. And this branch happens to be local to Pittsburgh. I was never in the military, but I have so much respect for the men and women that serve and protect our country, our rights, our freedom. I thank you all. I want to say thank you right now because I truly mean it. You're heroes. You're heroes of mine. It just blows me away how much you sacrifice to let myself and others live free. I love you all for that. And let me start out by saying that I'm raising money for Team Red, White, and Blue as I'm running the Marine Corps Marathon a little over a year ago. Now, to the speech. I'm giving a speech at a middle school. I think it was grades 1 through 7. And they said they will not be able to pay me, but they'll donate to Team Red, White, and Blue. Well, I jumped all over it. I said, I'm in. We agreed on a dollar value. I was blown away. It was better than payment for me because I got a chance to give my entire speaking fee to Team Red, White, and Blue. It put a huge smile on my face. And that's actually what starts this doubling your happiness. If you want to double your happiness like this, or at least increase your happiness, one word: give. Give, give, give. I was ecstatic and probably gave the most energy I've ever given to any group I've ever spoke to, and I was getting zero. I was giving to Team Red, White, and Blue. But I'm going to tell you, that's not the full part of the story. The story gets so much better. You're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you that happened. It couldn't have been more than 5 minutes before I'm getting ready to take the stage to give this speech to 500 plus kids, grades 1 through 7. This cafeteria / auditorium was packed. I couldn't believe it. I had kids all around me. I could barely even move. Could not wait to give this speech. 5 minutes before the speech, the woman who was my contact to set me up on the speech came up to me and said, "Hey, Matt, before I introduce you, would you mind meeting 2 young girls because they want to tell you something?" I said, "Of course, that would be great." 2 third-grade girls. I think their names were, I think it was Meredith was one, and I want to say Susie was the other one. I think that was right. Meredith and Susie. I believe that's their names. But these 2 third-grade girls come up to me, and they call me Mr. Matt. He said, "Mr. Matt, we have something for you." And I said, "Oh, wow. Like, what do you have for me?" And they said, "Well, could you open your hand?" So I kind of bend down. I'm getting down to their level. I want to make sure I look them in the eye at their level and I'm not peering down at them. So I kind of scrunch down and I put my hand out and I hear some clinking, like clink, clink, clink in their hand. They said, "Okay, cup your hand." And they turn over, they open up their hands, and I see a lot of change, nickels, dimes, quarters, and they dump the change into my hand. And I said, "Oh my goodness, what is this? What's this for?" And they said, "We heard you were doing something for the Army and we wanted to help out." And they gave me, it ended up being, I think it was just under $4 and change. And when I tell you it felt like $4 million, they gave me this change with the two biggest smiles I have ever seen in my entire life. And I'll tell you, I had trouble holding back tears. After this happened, when I started the speech, I started tearing up. And it was nice because everybody was clapping. I'm tearing up because of these two young girls, and also how the entire school raised money for me to come speak. It was such a win-win, euphoric moment of my life. I can't even begin to describe the powerful emotions I felt from that day. But let me tell you how the story gets even better than that. After I give the speech, the woman who booked me to come speak said, "Did you get a chance to meet Meredith and Susie?" And I said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe that they raised money themselves and they gave it to me to give to the military." And she said, "Did they tell you the full story?" I said, "No, what do you mean? What's the full story?" And she said they had been saving up for almost 2 years in their piggy bank. Any coins they found, any money that they were given, anything that they had, they put into their piggy bank in the foster home that they lived in. These two young girls had never met their biological parents. They had a very tough upbringing. It sounds like they moved from home to home, and they were still young, but at a young age, they moved around, moved to different schools. And yet, when they found out that somebody was coming to speak, to give money to the military, they gave me all of the money that was in their piggy bank. Every single dime that they had saved up for over a year and a half, they gave to me. And this teacher is telling me this story, and I'm losing it. I cannot believe what I'm hearing, that two extremely young people want to give everything they have to somebody they have never met in their life because they want to do good for others that they feel are less fortunate than them. Even though these two young girls have been through a really difficult upbringing in their life, I was moved beyond anything that's really ever happened in my life. That's the only way I can say it. And the teacher also told me that these two young girls were so excited for weeks and weeks leading up to this because they got a chance to give to somebody else. And that is the whole story I'm trying to bring together. Doubling your happiness can be as simple as giving that happiness to somebody else, giving your time to somebody else, giving some money to somebody else. For any of you that are listening that have given anything, and I'm sure you have, and maybe it was recently, maybe it was a while ago, I bet if you think hard right now about how you felt after you gave, think about it for a second. Think about the moment, maybe the last moment that you remember giving somebody something, whether it was money or time or a compliment or just a text saying, "I'm thinking about you." And remember how you felt after you gave. I bet right now you have a pretty big smile on your face if you're thinking about it really hard. It's impossible not to feel good when you give to others. And I know I'm telling you the story and it has to do with giving money. It does not have to be money though. It could be as simple as every night right before dinner, you go on social media and you put a cap on it. You'll go on for 5 minutes and you comment on 3 to 5 different people, giving them a compliment, a sincere compliment. That's one thing that I know has to be true. It must be sincere. You cannot go on there and just blanket compliment somebody that is not sincere. Like copy and pasting compliments over and over again, it's not going to get you too far because it's not sincere. Giving will double and maybe triple and quadruple your happiness, and it's the quickest way to do it. Adding value to others is the quickest way to increase your happiness. There's so many quotes out there, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, about the secret to living is giving. And if you want to feel better quickly, give to somebody else. And I'm often reading about how if you're sad, if you're going through a tough time, I'm going to say this because I've been there, especially when I was an alcoholic, you're almost always thinking about yourself. If you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this on YouTube and right now you're having a tough time, Think about this. Are you mainly thinking about yourself? Are you thinking about how tough your life is, how your finances are difficult, how you'll never find that dream job, how you'll never marry the man or woman of your dreams? What if you flip that and said, how can I help somebody today? How can I help somebody tonight? How can I add value to somebody? Flipping that mindset can change everything. And then once you take action on it by helping that person, I would almost guarantee you, you will feel better about yourself. Lose yourself in service to others. Give to double, triple, and quadruple your happiness. I'm so glad. I could not wait to tell you that story. These two young third graders changed my life. I think about them so often. I have a letter from them up in my home office, and I think about these two young girls. They're angels. They changed my life. They changed the way I think about giving. And I hope me telling you that story changes the way you think about giving. So my challenge to you is this: find somebody today, tonight, ASAP, that you can give value to, that you can give a little bit of money to if it's a charity. Just somebody or something you can give to help them, add value to them, and make them happier. Because in turn, it's going to make you a heck of a lot happier as well. Thanks for joining another Living the Dream podcast. We will see you on the next episode.